In a world that feels like it's getting more and more chaotic, where every single day just throws a new wave of distractions at us, a lot of us are searching for the exact same thing. Just a little bit of peace, a way to stay calm and focused right in the middle of the storm. So, how do we actually find it?
That really is the big question, isn't it? When you're being pulled in 100 different directions, how do you find your center? How do you keep your cool when things you absolutely can't control just go sideways? What if the answer isn't in some new app or the latest productivity hack? What if the most practical advice for our crazy modern lives comes from almost 2,000 years ago? Not from some guru trying to sell you a course, but from the personal, private notes of a Roman emperor who was just writing to himself, trying to be a better person. Yeah, we're talking about Marcus Aurelius and the book we now call The Meditations. But here's the thing, he never called it that. This wasn't a book meant for you and me. It was his personal journal, his commonplace book. Basically a collection of his own thoughts and little pep talks to himself, written on the fly. Some notes even start with things like, this among the quality, or this at Carnuntum, which means he was probably jotting this stuff down in a tent during a military campaign. And that's the first thing you have to get about Marcus. He wasn't some power-hungry tyrant. Not at all. He was a philosopher at heart who would have much rather been in a library than a palace. He was a guy who loved learning more than he loved ruling, but, destiny had other plans for him. The ancient philosopher Plato had this idea of a perfect state run by a philosopher king, a ruler who would govern wisely precisely because he didn't actually want the power. For centuries, this was seen as a cool idea, but totally impossible. But historians pretty much agree that for one brief moment in history, it actually happened. Marcus Aurelius was that philosopher king. And his time as emperor was anything but peaceful. Seriously, he wasn't meditating in some quiet garden. He was on the front lines, dealing with nonstop war, a horrible plague that wiped out millions, famine, and to top it all off, the betrayal of one of his most trusted generals. His philosophy wasn't some abstract theory. It was forged in the fire of real, relentless crisis. So how did he handle it all? How did he keep it together when his world seemed to be falling apart? Well, he relied on a practical, philosophical system as his mental toolkit. Stoicism. Now, the word Stoicism can sound a little academic and stuffy, but for Marcus, it was incredibly practical. It wasn't about debating abstract ideas, it was a user's manual for life. It was all about training your mind to focus on what actually matters, to act with reason, and to find your stability inside yourself no matter what chaos is happening outside. Okay, this right here, this breaks down the single most important idea in all of Stoicism. It's this simple discipline of separating what's in your power from what's not. Just think about it for a second. You can't control what other people do. You can't control what happens in the world. You can't even really control your own reputation. But you can control your judgments, your own actions, and your will. The whole philosophy basically asks, why waste a single ounce of energy on the stuff in that second column? And this is exactly why his journal is so powerful today. It's just packed with practical advice that cuts right to the core of our daily struggles. These aren't just some old, dusty sayings. They are timeless strategies for living a good life. I mean, think about this one. When someone wrongs you, what's that gut reaction? It's to lash out, right? To hurt them back. But Marcus offers this totally different way of looking at it. He's arguing that if you imitate what they did, you've let them control your behavior. You've let them drag you down to their level. The real win isn't about getting even. It's about refusing to become like them. It's about holding on to your own character, your own integrity, no matter what they do. That is real strength. Now, this one can sound a bit harsh at first. I get it. But it points to a really deep psychological truth. Events themselves don't hurt us. Our opinion about the event is what hurts us. A traffic jam isn't inherently bad. It's our judgment that it's bad that creates all our frustration. This means the power to choose how we respond is always, always ours. We can choose not to feel injured. And Marcus was constantly reminding himself that we're not just isolated individuals running around. He believed we're all part of one big community. We're made to help each other, like our hands and our feet work together. So what's good for the whole of humanity is good for you, and what's good for you should be good for humanity. It's a powerful call to think beyond ourselves and act for the common good. So why is this private journal, a book written nearly 2,000 years ago,
Still a bestseller, why does it continue to speak so directly to people from every walk of life? I think the critic Matthew Arnold really nailed it here. The morality of Marcus Aurelius isn't tied to a specific time or place or any kind of dogma. It's just based on reason. The things he tells himself to do are things that any rational person would recognize as right. It's a universal guide to just being a good human. This all leads to how he saw life and death. He often used this incredible analogy of life being a stage play. See, we don't get to write the script, and we definitely don't decide how long the play runs. Our only job is to play the part we've been given with honor, with virtue, and with excellence. Worrying about when the curtain's gonna fall is just a total waste of time. This is just the ultimate expression of acceptance. For Marcus, death isn't some scary tyrant, it's simply the director of the play, which he called nature, giving the signal that your part is over. So whether you performed 3 acts or the full 5, if you did your best, you can leave the stage satisfied. Ultimately, the entire Meditations is a call to action. It's a reminder that the power to live a good life, a peaceful life, isn't found in changing the world outside of us, but in mastering the world inside of us. So the question Marcus leaves for us is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. What is one judgment, one complaint, one thought that you have the power to change right now?